Health officials in St. Louis, Missouri are still counting the victims of a man who knew he was HIV positive, but deliberately slept with as many women as possible without telling them he was infected with the virus that causes AIDS. CNN's Jeff Flock has more on the story.
Shirley got HIV from unprotected sex when she was 15.
I was mad. I was scared, but I was really mad most of all because the person that had gave it to me, he shouldn't have. He should have just told me instead of just just going out, just doing it, just giving it to somebody.
The person who gave it to her was Darnell McGee. According to the authorities, the man Shirley thought loved her had been cruising the streets in and around St. Louis, Missouri for years, cruising for sex in an apparent attempt to infect as many women as he could with the virus that doomed him. So far, they've counted 61 partners.
I guess he feel like, shoot, he gonna get somebody else too.
McGee would hang out at high schools and roller rinks like this one in East St. Louis, Illinois, offering kind words and gifts, preying on girls, some as young as 12.
Some of them have never had a driver's license, some of them haven't voted, some of them aren't even old enough to drink.
Rebecca Bathon has been counseling the victims of the man known as Boss Man McGee.
We've seen cases like this in the past, certainly not to this degree of the number of sex partners.
It was in January on this street in St. Louis that Darnell McGee met death sooner even than he was expecting. He was gunned down in his car. Police now investigating the possibility that it might have been someone looking for revenge.
Right before he got killed, I was just over here talking about if I had a gun that I'd do it myself. About a week and a half later, that's when I found out he had got killed, and I was glad.
You were glad?
Yeah, I was glad, because he ain't got no business doing that to nobody.
So far, a dozen of McGee's partners have tested positive for HIV. Others are pregnant. At least one baby has already been born HIV positive. The health department is now following McGee's trail.
Knocking on doors, driving through neighborhoods, doing anything we can to get a person to come here to the clinic to get a test for HIV, or offering the test in the field.
Trying to find his partners and in turn their partners who are all at risk. It is a felony in both Illinois and Missouri to knowingly spread HIV.
Is that an enforceable law?
Well, I think it's a difficult one.
Even the St. Louis police chief says the only real protection against HIV doesn't come from the police.
I think that there should be at least 61 people convinced about safe sex.
Among them, Shirley, who now has AIDS.
I know it's a lot of girls out there that's curious about having sex and everything. Like my little sister, I want them to tell me if they feel that they're not ready to have sex, don't have it. Wait till they get older. And if they feel that they're ready to have it, I ain't telling them to go out there and do it. Just protect themselves, have safe sex.
I'm Jeff Flock, CNN in St. Louis, Missouri.
Some of the strong...
How you feeling since we last talked?
Feeling good. Well, better.
Really?
Well, most of the time I just think, why I have to be me, or how much, like sometimes, like when I lay down and go to sleep, I'll be wondering if I'm gonna wake up the next day, because
Who would that feel so surprised? It happened to us. We see several clusters of one man infecting 5 and 6 women. It's very sad to hear that it's to this degree, but no, I think we'll see it repeatedly in the future.
They are users of others strictly for their own personal self-interest gratification in a very callous way, and they do not feel like there's anything wrong with that.
showing that a person is recklessly engaging in conduct is a lower state to prove than that they are deliberately trying to infect someone with HIV.
I think he got off easy by him being killed. I think he got off easy because he don't have to deal with it. Because, some people die slow with it, get real, real sick, and, they go through a lot of suffering. If that's the case, he should have did the same thing.
Darnell McGee is buried in this unmarked grave in a cemetery not far from where he grew up. Because of that, the women he infected with HIV will never be able to ask him the question they most want to. Why? Why pretend to care so much about them while having such utter disregard for their lives? I'm Jeff Flock, CNN, in Millstadt, Illinois.
I guess there's some people who think it's macho to have multiple sex partners.
Cases like Darnell Bossman McGee infecting multiple partners with HIV and not telling them are becoming all too common. In 1991, Felicia Horton, a known prostitute in Alton, was charged while pregnant with trying to spread the AIDS virus. Police say she told them she planned to take as many people as possible with her if she died from AIDS. In 1995, a Cahokia woman, Coretha Russell, was charged twice for having sex with a man without telling him she was infected with AIDS. Also in 95, in Lincoln County, 18-year-old Angela Koffel was charged with attempting to transmit HIV through oral sex on two boys, age 11 and 13. And that same year, police say 23-year-old Robert Warren showed no signs of remorse for infecting 4 women with the virus that causes AIDS.
Well, it boggles my mind that people continue the behavior, the high-risk behavior, but apparently what happens in a lot of people's minds is they say, well, this doesn't apply to me.
Dr. Richard Beek with the City Health Department says that type of behavior can only lead to an early grave.
It can happen to anybody, and even people who trust their partners cannot really be sure. I would guess, on average, you can be maybe 80% sure of your partners.
Lawmakers feel that a person with HIV who has sex with another partner but doesn't tell that person is a major public health threat. And that's why a law was placed on the books making such an act a Class D felony.
I mean, it's life-threatening, so yeah, I think people do realize that it's a heinous act, and they're taking someone's life in their hands if they do it.
Herbert Bowens, a 42-year-old man with HIV, raped an 18-year-old last year in University City. He received a 5-year sentence and life in prison for the abduction and rape.
I think it's wrong for somebody who knows that they have a dangerous disease to have behavior that could put others at risk.
Beek advises anyone who believes they're at risk for HIV because of sexual partners should call the City Health Department. In Midtown, Patrick Clark, St. Louis 11 News.
Health officials say 28-year-old Darnell McGee, known on the streets as Boss Man, knowingly spread the deadly AIDS virus to at least 18 people, most of them underage.
There's a lot of pain involved in individuals that are still currently a part of our community.
After a year-long probe, investigators with the Missouri Department of Health and the St. Louis City Health Department present the grim picture McGee has left behind.
High-risk behavior needs to be tackled aggressively. We have programs ongoing that encouraging individuals to shy away from, turn from high-risk behavior.
More than 300 people who knew McGee were interviewed by the health department. From those, 101 were sexual partners. Of those 101 people, 18 have tested positive with HIV. Out of the 18 now showing signs of infection, 6 of them are either pregnant or have recently delivered a child. Of the 101 people who have admitted to sexual relations with McGee, 50 of them were minors at the time of the original contact. The St. Louis Health Department says the behavior patterns of young girls must be changed in order to prevent future sexual predators like McGee.
The problem is large, but the health department can play a key role in bringing to the table other agencies that have individuals and resources that are already being applied to the same problem.
If we would put more, how long ago was it?
Burned down. What was that? on the